Hi guys, how are you doing? So I'm at the Dunstan Staithes right now, and if you're as old as I am, you may recall the National Garden Festival 35 years ago, which was a festival. It had amusements, a monorail, and so much more. This was the most delightful part of my childhood. The monorail, there was also a massive ball of wool behind me for some reason. But yes, the National Garden Festival, it was an event that created jobs. It also gentrified the area with flowers, and it brought a lot of money into the area. So according to ChatGPT, the event attracted over 3 million visitors, was held on 200 acres of the derelict land next to the River Tyne, which is behind me. It had extensive floral displays and landscaped parkland. Major attractions such as the largest Ferris wheel in Europe, various forms of transport, such as the monorail. I actually recall a metro coming here from Gateshead at one point. There's also live music with acts like the Radio 1 Roadshow featuring the now disgraced Philip Schofield. The festival was a major regeneration project for the North East, resulting from the into the North and the Baltic coming to the North East. So yeah, a lot of history here. I remember being 6 years old in 1990. I mean, it's all a blur now, but back then it was just like this amazing thing in my area I could go to all the time. And behind me was the original entrance to the garden. Yeah, it even had a train ride, a monorail. It was just a magical time for me. I went to this place on 2 occasions with my school as a school trip. But yeah, as you know, this place is full of history. The Staithes has so much history. They would use this to transport goods from UK and abroad, I'm guessing. But as you know, in the last few years, vandals have actually burned part of it down. So the existing land, the existing structure that was actually there is gone, unfortunately. I do believe there's actually a food festival here once every month or so. But yeah, the land that was once the festival is now consumed by new buildings, new houses. The festival actually built new houses on Festival Way and also higher up in Bensham. So if you go there today, you'll see the original houses with the butterfly logo on them. So this was the original entrance into the gardens. It was a big, massive canopy of sorts, where you'd walk in, you'd pay for the day, or you would pay for a season ticket, I suppose. I actually recall a house made of straw. It was in the kiddies area of the gardens. But yeah, good memories. Of course, this land was derelict for nigh on maybe 10 years after the festival left, and there was some sort of thing in the papers where every place that has these festivals, they've always ended up derelict and unused. But thankfully, many years ago, this land was rebuilt to cater to, and those who need houses, of course. There's actually a little cafe up ahead called the Dunstan Staithes Cafe, which I've been to a few times. They serve tea, coffee, cappuccinos, and also baked goods, cakes, biscuits, you name it, they've got it. We've got a little placard here that tells you the history of the Staithes. So during before it was open, the Garden Festival was open, all this area was regenerated into just like greenery, shrubberies, and also amusements for the kids. Got the Staithes up there. These houses are very nice, posh-ish. They've all got little balconies, which are very contemporary, very up-to-date, very, well, posh, you could say. But they aren't cheap to rent, because I think a few years ago I actually did try and look at places here to live, and I just couldn't believe the price. It was just so expensive. It's amazing how these all have different colours. That one's pink, that one's brick, pink and petal brick. That one's got grey on it, that one's white, that one's just grey brick. Very unique, I must admit. It's a very beautiful, picturesque area that for years was derelict. Hello, kitty. Hello. Psst, 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 psst. Hello. Psst, 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 psst. That cat reminds me of Clinton off Lewis Rossman's channel. Always go meow, meow. So yeah, guys, that's my little history of the Staithes. National Garden Festival was here in 1990. That was 35 years ago, and I was 6 years old at the time. And despite the foggy memories, I still have some memories of travelling on the monorail. Also the amusements. I had a spaceship at one point. And as you know, at that age, you're very impressionable. We sat inside this place, and they had a screen. And if I was taken off, going into space, and I was like, no, I want to stay on planet Earth. It was so funny. But of course, back then I was terrified. This, of course, was the damage caused by the hoodlums a few years ago. It made national news, as it should do, because this whole area should be protected, I think. I'm sure it is at some point, so at some degree. I do hope it's being protected, because it has to be protected. It's a landmark. It's a historical landmark. But yeah, when I was a kid, this was all whole. That's where the ball of wool was at the top there. So we're now at the end of the Staithes. We've got this lovely little area to appreciate the beauty of the Tyne, River Tyne. Up there we've got the Staithes Cafe. It serves beverages and cakes and sweets and biscuits, and it's great. If you are here for a visit, I would recommend going there for a bite to eat or a cuppa. It's really good. My zoom isn't very good, but we'll have a go. There we go, there's the bridges. Got the Tyne Bridge over there, right at the far end. We've got the Swing Bridge, Hell Bridge, Bridge of Bridge. I believe there are maybe 7 or 8 bridges now on the Tyne. So there we go, guys, that was my little walk into Dunstan Staithes. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe as well. I really appreciate that. That's all from me. Take care. I'll see you next time.